Right, this is not my forte, but welcome everybody. Can I first thank everybody for attending Kerry and Matt's wedding today. Val and I would like to welcome Matt into our family. For those of you who don't know Kerry, as a child she was a bit of a tomboy. She'd dig up worms, give them to her friends with the inevitable screams, you know. She started riding motorbikes at a young age. Went on to race at grass track, first on a little Pee-wee, a little Yamaha, Kawasaki 60, and later on a YZ 85. A sport she thoroughly enjoyed. So when Matt wanted to take a green laning in Hoge, suited her down to the ground. She didn't have to walk. Kerry was in her element. I think this helped cement their relationship. It was on what such trip that Matt proposed to her on the top of a hill. They make a good team and have a very similar sense of humour. So she's. So we're here today at their wedding, in which they have organised in every detail, particularly Matt. I believe there were a few spreadsheets involved. Val and I would like to thank Gail for raising Matt and to be a caring and thoughtful person. I would like to thank the bridesmaids and the flower girls and the groomsmen for doing their jobs today. I've been told to say, oh sorry, I shouldn't have said that. Can I say that how beautiful Kerry looks today in her wedding dress? Now, can we please raise a glass for Matt and Kerry and the best for their future? Yay!
Well, thank you very much, Mark, for your kind words. Now, ladies and gentlemen, now I'd just like to start by telling you a little story about how me and Kerry met through a chance encounter. I'll be honest, it does start a little bit weird, but bear with me, gets more bewildering as it goes on. So, let me set the scene. Just under 3 years ago, my mum here sadly had to be taken into hospital. Nothing major, just minor schemobile accident. We don't need to cover that. Anyway, I needed to go and pack my mum an overnight bag, but as a bloke, I've got no clue what I'm doing and I needed help. My good friend Samantha, wherever she's hiding, hello, offered to come and assist. And she brought with her a friend, unannounced I should add, just turned up my mum's door with, by the way, I've brought someone. But whatever, I was just grateful for the help. Once the bag was packed, came downstairs and discovered this complete stranger had just let herself into my mum's kitchen and was stood at the sink doing the washing up. I immediately thought, wouldn't mind her doing me washing up. Hey. And I knew right then that Kerry was wife material, obviously. The fact is, this incredible woman saw an opportunity to help a stranger and his mum she'd never met, just in any way that she could, so just did. As mundane as washing up is, I instantly saw the character of the most kind, caring and selfless person I've ever met. A few days later, on New Year's Eve 2022, I managed to summon the courage to ask Kerry out. Our first date was as memorable as our first meeting. We jumped in the Land Rover and went green laning up in the lakes. You stole part of my speech. Because apparently we don't do normal. No quiet dinner, no cinema, no romantic walk in a park, just mud, hills, and the very real possibility I'd be making an awkward phone call explaining to Kerry's parents why she's stranded halfway up a mountain with someone that she's known 5 minutes. During our adventure, while miles from civilization, I may have slightly pranged the car on a rock, bending one of the side steps so the door couldn't open. So I calmly told Kerry not to try and open the door. Then I just casually fetched a £6 lump hammer from the boot to go and fix it. As I appeared next to Kerry's window, hammer in hand, and started smashing lumps out of the car, Kerry didn't even flinch. To this day, I'm not sure if it was because she trusted me implicitly, or more likely she'd just accepted her fate. What I do know is that neither of us clearly have any situational awareness. A handful of dates later, 32 days after our first date, on the 15th of February, we returned to what had already become our favourite little spot in the lakes, high in the hills overlooking Coniston. I asked Kerry to marry me. By this time, just 6.5 weeks after we first met, I already knew we were meant to be. Kerry did hesitate at first. After all, it was early days. But after a moment's contemplation, she said yes. After all, we were 2 miles from the nearest paved road, no phone signal, surrounded on one side by marshland and a sheer drop on the other. My methods may be unorthodox, but they work. I really want to just give a mention to some very special people, so please do have your glasses ready. First of all, to my mum, Gail. Thank you. Thank you so much for everything you have done and continue to do for me and for Kerry. You're an inspiration and a legend. Without you, I would not be the man I am today, which means you've got a lot to answer for. Thank you for welcoming Kerry into our family with outstretched arms, love and kindness. You've always been very critical of anyone I've dated, but with Kerry, you supported our relationship from the moment you met her, without hesitation gave you seal of approval, which is not easy to earn. You gave me the assurance of what I already knew. Kerry is my perfect match. I love you, Mum. Come on, Mum. Next on the block, Kerry's parents, Mark and Val. You've both raised an incredible, funny, kind, compassionate and patient daughter. And Lord knows she needs some patience with me around. Val, I think it was only the second or third time we met when Kerry decided to play a little joke on us. I don't know if you recall. Kerry very sternly looked at you in the eye, pointed to a leg and said, "This is where Matt hit me." It was nothing to do with me, but anyway, I digress. I was absolutely mortified, even more so when I saw the rage in your eyes. I'm so glad that Kerry burst out laughing with an evil grin on her face when she did, because I think you were about to lunge across the room and beat me through a wall. As such, I can see you're very protective of Kerry, a force to be reckoned with. And although I'm not sure who I fear the most, probably Kerry now, but that look on your face will haunt me forever. Mark, what can I say? He's a man powered by two things: limitless energy and whatever tools he hasn't misplaced in the last hour. He's a mechanic and an engineer. This man can master anything except for sitting still. In fact, you've probably burned more calories in the last 5 minutes by twitching than most people do in an hour at the gym. But thank you for being an amazing dad to Kerry. And also, I should be thankful that you've never tried to take me apart, repair me and reassemble me. Although I'm pretty sure you've considered it. considering it right now. Look at that face. So, to Mark and Val, as your daughter becomes a Reisiger, I want to thank both of you for bringing me into your family and making me very much feel like a Heaton. Thank you for your support, kindness, and most of all, for trusting me to take care of your little girl. Now on to Elliot.
I was just helping your mum.
You've not read your speech yet,
Right
so
here.
therefore I'll be kind and I'm not going to mention the incident. Please remember my act of great compassion, and I trust that your speech about me will reflect that. You've been by my side for as long as I can remember, through thick and thin. You're my brother. Alan and Mitch, the groomsmen, you have both stood by me no matter what. Through laughter and tears, thank you. And for the record, you're also my brothers. To the best man and the groomsmen, thank you for everything you've done to support me and Kerry, helping this day to come together. To the groomsmen.
Cheers.
To the bridesmaids, Roxanne, Charlotte and Samantha, thank you for all for getting Kerry here today, for supporting her, keeping her calm, and most of all for not talking her out of it. Now, a special mention needs to go to Samantha. Where's she hiding? In the middle. Oh, yeah. No. Your head's down, you're hiding behind Pete. I couldn't see. Special mention needs to go to Samantha. We've known each other a long time, and you've known Kerry all of her life. You two call each other sisters. Thank you for somehow picking the exact right moment to introduce me and Kerry to each other. For quite some years, you have called me your big bro. That means a lot. But please, for the love of all things holy, please stop telling people that your sister and your brother are getting married. It's not okay. People are asking questions. I'd like to thank each and every one of you for joining Kerry and I today in celebrating our wedding. It means so much to both of us that you're all here to share this day with us, whether it's due to social etiquette and you felt obliged, if you heard that there was free food, or simply you couldn't be bothered to think of anything better to do. Either way, thank you all for coming. It is truly an honour for us both to be surrounded by the people who mean most to us and have had such big impacts on our lives. In fact, I have so much respect for everyone in this room that despite Kerry's numerous suggestions and requests while I was writing this speech, I will not address you as my peasants while sneering. What? Finally, to Kerry, my wife, my best friend, my rock. You're beautiful, so beautiful. I'm so happy that you've made me your husband. You found me, you accepted me for who I am. You've loved me like I've never known love before. I can't believe I've been so lucky to meet someone as kind, caring, passionate and funny as you. We work together so perfectly in day-to-day life, through challenges, but also in success and celebration. I could not wish for a better partner or friend or wife. You've helped me to understand my own shortcomings, of which I have many. You have endured my flaws and guided me to learn and become a better person for you, a better person for myself, and a better person for all around me. You've done this without judgment, without trying to change me or who I am. You've led me to become a better version of myself, the person you could see inside and who you knew I could be. I am eternally in your debt for all you have done, and I am so proud to call you my wife. You are my everything, my always, and my forever. Thank you. To Kerry, I love you with all I am and all I have to give. To Kerry.
I'm not sure we follow that.
Please don't.
Well, I made some cue cards, but Matt said to me this morning, it might have been last night actually, how many minutes do you need for the speech? And I said, well, maybe 6 or 7. And he said, well, good, because I've got about 15 minutes. And I said, I hope you're not rambling for 15 minutes, because, you know, he has a tendency to ramble. That was a really beautiful speech. So, yeah, that was really lovely. Okay, so I'm Elliot. I'm the best man. And I've been given a lot of jobs today. You've probably seen me running around. I hope this is the last one. And I said, after this one, I'm just going to get, well, my kids are here. Is there any other children here? No? My kids are fine. So I said, after this one, I'm just going to get pissed, and that's it. So I'm not going to take up too much of your time tonight, this evening, this afternoon. In fact, this speech is going to last about as long as Matt will tonight. So let's raise the glass to Matt and Kerry. I'm setting the tone. Val, Mark, I'm really sorry. So me and Matt have had a very long friendship. We've been friends for 25 years, probably longer. Matt's coming from this kind of Viking and Scottish heritage that he's been reminding everybody of this last couple of days. And you can see they're not trousers, is it true? Trews, we're in the trews. And he's got his kilt on, and his skirt, sorry, and he's taken it in a very, very traditional way. Let's not have him fall over, because you don't want to see that. But I think for me and Matt, we've been together for a long time. We've got some very questionable experiences, and I'm going to share some of those experiences with you. I mean, I'm going to be incriminating myself a little bit, but it's fine. But I think what I will say about his Scottish heritage, it's the poor weather, the hardship that the Scottish have endured, and I think that's going to set Matt up absolutely perfectly for marriage. So you'll be fine. But he's a Viking. So story number 1. Strap yourself in. So when we were younger, Matt and I, we used to go to church. We spent a lot of time in the church, didn't we? Mm-hmm. We did. And one evening, we decided that we were going to make a...
Wait a minute. I know where this is going. Someone that wasn't me decided.
We were going to make a adult film inside the church. No, yes. This is a fact. So we're in the church. We're basically at the front of the church, more or less the altar, making this adult Christian film. We ended up smashing a couple of lights, if I remember rightly.
With a guitar stand, I think.
With a guitar stand.
Fully clothed, for the record.
We were fully clothed. But it was a moment in our lives that I think, it's worth mentioning, especially as weddings, kind of, it's a little bit religious, holy matrimony and all of this. So the only thing holy about our adult entertainment was how hard we were laughing. We were hysterical in the church making this adult film with just the two of us. Yes. Films are available on request. It's on YouTube. I'll send you the link. We've done lots of very, very crazy things over the years. So we're now going to talk about Operation Bob. So Operation Bob was bed on balcony. I will explain. So we're in Skegness, which has got about as much class as a car boot sale in a hurricane. If you've never been to Skegness, don't bother. So we decided to get this sofa bed onto the balcony.
No, it was a full bed.
It was a full bed?
It was a full bed. It was a sofa bed that we couldn't get because we wedged it in the door frame. Yeah, we did.
So we had a good effort. We got this bed onto the balcony in Butlins in Skegness. We were very classy back then. And we were looking over by the balcony, over the balcony outwards, and we could see these security people kind of coming towards our chalet, which is a nice way of saying it was like a prison cell, really, isn't it? Yeah. So they were coming over, they were running over, and we were like, shit, we've got to get so we rushed this bed back inside, and a couple of minutes later, there's like, at the door, security are knocking on the door. Excuse me, lads, have you been up to anything? Have you seen anybody with a bed on the balcony? No, not seen anything. Not seen anything.
It just seemed preposterous when
nothing happened. Nothing's happened. Nothing to see. And unbelievable, they just went, oh, okay, fine. And they just left.
Yeah.
So it was another dramatic moment.
The sofa bed was still wedged in the door frame, though, about 2 foot off the floor.
We had a luggage trolley in there as well, if I
2.
remember. 2 luggage trolleys. We used to do all kinds of crazy stuff, believe me. Which leads me on to our final prank, which was the breakfast in bed. The breakfast in bed.
You'll get us put in prison.
I know. I'm gonna be sparing with the details. But
that'll make it worse.
buy me a drink later. We'll be in a quiet corner. I'll give you the full story. So we're on a trip, and we were with some friends. And it was late in the evening, and me and Matt decided, wouldn't it be nice for our friends to make breakfast in bed for them?
I love the fact that all of your ideas have suddenly become
They're
ours.
They're yours.
I had nothing to do with that.
They were his. He sees the bad influence. It was all documented in his spreadsheets, don't worry. So we went out into the wilderness. We got some grass. We had some potatoes. We painted them with nail varnish to make them look pretty. We had
eggs?
Like eggs. We had leaves. We had many twigs, many different things. Put it all in this bowl.
Bourbon biscuits.
Was it bourbon biscuits?
Yeah.
Yeah, bourbon biscuits. And we broke into their room. So we literally yanked a window open, climbed in through the window, let ourselves into their bedroom. They're fast asleep. And we deposited this highly nutritional breakfast in bed for them.
In a frying pan?
In a frying pan. We were laughing our heads off. It was hysterical. I mean, maybe you had to be there, I'm not sure. But
retrospect, really creepy.
Extremely creepy.
Yeah.
In fact, retrospectively, you'd argue that we could be arrested for that kind of stuff.
Yeah, I was going to say, shut up.
But it, with me and Matt, it's all over the last 25 years. It's always been like peak comedy. We've not really cared about anything, and we've just had a great time.
And it's actually been more wholesome than you've made it sound.
Yeah. I've got more stories. See me in the
bar.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then, there's one other thing that I would like to share with you, which was about the COVID lockdowns. Are you looking worried?
I'm just puzzled.
He's puzzled.
Yeah,
okay.
This could go either way.
Matt was on his own. He lived in a house on his own, and you remember you had these social circles, the bubbles, not too many people seeing each other, and we would keep in touch on Zoom. Oh yes. We would keep in touch on Zoom, and we would have some drinks. We would be chatting on the Zoom. We would have a bit of a laugh, and it was just a nice way for us to stay connected. Well, this one evening he was absolutely destroyed. He'd had so much to drink, and at some point during the evening, he's got his webcam kind of on a stand, and he gets down on his knees on the webcam, and it's like he's like
staring
deeply into the webcam. It was like he was at a shrine or something. I don't know what was going on, and it was like you felt it, yeah. It was a connection between us.
Yeah.
It was a really awkward kind of moving, emotional. We had one Zoom session after that, I think, and that was about 2 weeks ago in the lead up to the wedding.
Yeah.
I'm still scarred from what was going on there. But yeah, we've had a lot of fun, a lot of fun over the years. But beneath kind of the chaos and of Matt and all his spreadsheets and I've got an itinerary here. Hold on, I'm probably overdue on my speech now. He's going to kick me off in a minute. But this is a man who is extremely loyal, extremely generous, extremely kind. And you know, I've had my own challenges in my life, and I'm sure all of you have. And you know, when I pick up the phone and I speak to Matt and I say, "Hey, I need you," this is somebody who I can pick up the phone to and say, you know, I need you, and you're there for me every time, and I'm sure you're there for everybody every time, and you are a really top guy, and I really appreciate that. And for Kerry, I wrote these words myself. You have this infinite patience with Matt, like this infinite, you know, patience that you know. It's not that you like put up with him, but you know he's a challenging character. But the way you, honestly, and you give him a good bitch slap when he needs one, and sometimes he does. But also at the same time, you're kind of like, and I think Mark said it. You're kind of like, you're cut from the same cloth. You've got this very wicked sense of humor together. You're both a little bit dark, a little bit edgy. And you know, you cut from the same cloth. It was probably a cloth that we both took from the church when we were doing our adult movie. But you are absolutely made for each other. There's no doubt about that. And yes, they met through Sam. So Sam has got a lot to answer for. I actually thought they met on an online dating app. And that's the fact. I was doing a dry run of this speech with Charlotte, my wife. And I said, they met in an online dating. She said, no, they didn't. No, I'm sure they did. She went, no, they didn't. And then as she was reciting the story about how Kerry was at your mum's, I was like, now I remember. So I do remember, it was in the back there. But you are cut from the same cloth. I think Sam has a lot to answer for about, you know, who she associates herself with. But that's fine. We can discuss that one later. On to Matt's kind of Scottish heritage. It would be remiss for me not to mention this kind of English wife, Scottish heritage. So they've agreed a few things. There's going to be no independence referendum for at least 5 years. Kerry speaks politely. He's very polite. Matt pretends he can't hear. Hey, what's that? And you know, it's working well so far. So I think the Scottish English thing will be absolutely fine. Now, I've been married for a long time, 13 years. If I could give you a little bit of advice before I finish. But it's not going to be cliche advice, okay? So real advice, don't go to bed angry, okay? Make sure you stay up and plot revenge. Now, if one of you is wrong, statistically, it's definitely Matt. And make sure you support each other's dreams, even the really crazy ones, which I know you have. Okay, a couple of last comments and then we'll get to dinner. So I think on behalf of all of the wedding party, the bridesmaids, the groomsmen, the family, we'd like to say thank you. So thank you for everything. You know, for me, it's a real honor to be able to stand here as your best man and participate in your day. I'm slightly worried about, you know, our ongoing friendship in the future. You never know what's around the corner with you two, but it really is a privilege to have you in my life, and thank you for having me in your life as well. Okay, so final toast. So if everybody could please stand. Raise your glasses. So, to Matt and Kerry, laughter, loyalty, mischief,
What happened there?
and many, many stories that you will never ever tell anybody else. To Matt and Kerry.
The incident.
Cheers.
Thank you. Cheers, Mum.